have some explanation for that. We have none. Don't worry. Continue your program. Oh boy, it is really something that was fantastic, didn't it? You couldn't ever imagine this. Roger, we know about that. Could you go the other way? Go back the other way. Well, that's kind of rich. Pretty spectacular.
Welcome to Planet Pluto Pseudo.
There's kind of light there now. Roger, we got it. We marked it. Close communication.
I know I had beatbox skills. What's happening, good people out there? Y'all know who it is, right? It's me, the one and only your homegirl, Adosha Wright, aka Key Lolo, coming to you live and direct from my granddaughter's bedroom here. I call it my AKA, my YouTube room. It's located in Cleveland, Ohio. What's up, C-Town? And then right over there, y'all know who it is, right? It's the one and only Cheryl Morrow, aka the Hair Oracle, and we are getting ready for a lovely episode, And I think we like 118, 119 episodes in here. We're doing pretty good.
We kicking 125.
Kicking it. Is that what we on? I can't. After a while,
I'm just saying.
Let me look at.
I'm just saying we
about that life. In case y'all wondering what's happening, good people. I hope y'all doing out there. Happy Black History Month. You know, the legacy and all this good stuff, it continues, and that's what's going down today. We are continuing part 2 of our lovely interview with the one and only Kristiana Carnaghi. She is a Annie Turnbo-Malone historian, enthusiast, passionateness, if there's such a word. And so we're going to be bringing her in momentarily. We're going to get into part 2 because last week she was just, man, she was kicking the ballistics. Everybody was like, you know what? They were like, it should be a book, you know? And so maybe we might try to tinker around and add some more stuff to the books that we have so that we can have it in writing, because, you know, when it comes to Annie Turnbo-Malone, let me just tell you, it's some crazy stuff out there that's being said about her, and nothing like, you know, setting the record straight and letting everybody get the right information, and leaving some receipts. That's one thing I do like about Kristiana, is that she does not have a problem with sharing any information and letting people know where she got her information from. So all of this is really important, you know what I'm saying? And this morning I went live on TikTok and was talking about your dad. Actually, I talked about the conversation we had about the industry going backwards. Oh, y'all let me know. What's up, Ron Ching Ching? I see you, Kay Washington. How you doing out there? Everybody, come on, y'all. Come on in. Get y'all Kool-Aid. What's up, Nola, darling? I see you, beautiful one. I see you. We got NYC up in the Heezy over here. How you doing, beautiful? How are you? How are you? How are you? So, so I was talking about the conversation that we had about the Black beauty industry going backwards, but wanting to raise the price. You know what I'm saying? Right. And you know, it's like, I'm just kind of confused, you know, and y'all let me know if I'm going crazy, because y'all know I'm a Scorpio and I'm cheap. That's what my biggest problem is. I'm just so damn cheap, right? Now, I own a hair salon. I work in there every single day, all right? Well, not every day, but y'all know what I'm saying. And so there's this big push to, quote unquote, go natural, right, Cheryl?
Yeah.
And natural ain't nothing but pretty much some hair grease, some cream, and a comb and a brush. And this silk press shit, I'm sorry. I know this ain't the dumbest shit. This is Planet Pluto Pseudo. But actually, this is very appropriate. Because how are you justifying silk press with no technology?
Yeah.
I mean, that they have these things called let me get it right, Cheryl. Are they called anti-defrizzants or is it, I'm sorry, defrizzants? Defrizzants. Where you defrizz the hair. And then they have anti-humectants, you know. And so these are going to, you know, kind of keep the hair from like reverting, and it's supposed to make the hair look silky, right?
Straight.
I'm sorry, straight. No. It's supposed to be silky because it's called a silk press. Now, y'all let me know if I'm going. Let me
silky
know.
Don't mean straight.
We're about to bring in Kristiana, and we're going to talk about Annie Turbo-Malone and why we need to know this history and heritage. I learned about heritage today, okay? So they're going to raise the price, or they want to stay natural, raise the price in the name of press by way of these anti-defrizzants and anti-humectants and anti-swelling agents or whatever. And so the customers are telling me that these come on, Kay, wait a minute, Kay, hold your mule, Kay, hold it, Kay. And and so they're charging minimally, you know, $130 and up.
Yeah.
Now, and I'm not saying that anti-humectant chemistry is pseudo. I am not going to say that because there are plenty of products that can, you know, but Cheryl, I need you to let me know if I'm going crazy. But don't do the same damn thing. Are we trying to convince the public? And the public, the women, they know that this is some bull fragger pagger knackle. Like, come on, Kay, you done beat me to the push. So somebody better let me know. I'm not, listen. Lord knows I need some money. Okay. I need to pay my bills like everybody else. I'm not doing that. So, Cheryl, before we're gonna talk the hit was in 1979. We're gonna get ready to bring Kristiana in. We're gonna be part 2, Erased in Plain Sight, the legacy of Annie Turbo-Malone, with the Annie Turbo-Malone historian Kristiana Carnaghi. But before we do this, I need to know, am I bugging when I say that hair grease is just as good and will yield the silky? I had to do that because y'all like that. Hold on, wait a
Right. They love doing that.
So, and the public is not starting to say something like, I don't want that shit. Just put some damn grease on my head and get it over. I'm not paying you for that.
Right. Well, yeah. Now you have to remember.
Just give us the
every time the white beauty world creates something, I want to tell black folk, they not talking to you. They not talking to you. Just stay out the conversation. That product, I need you to stay home to the plantation and understand that oil is the best barrier for elemental forces like humidity and all of the aerodynamics that'll make your hair move, and then all of a sudden you got poof. And I'm just saying, bar none, pound for pound, ground and pound, grease is better, healthier.
And
you ain't got the hairspray, you ain't got the sticky, you ain't got the butane, you ain't got all that alcohol in the spray. I'm just letting you know they wasn't talking to y'all. Okay, that's it.
And see, what y'all don't know is that every Wednesday, Cheryl and I, we invite you guys. We do these hair treatments every Wednesday afternoon live on Instagram. Okay. And we talk about this, and we talked about, just how we're just kind of going backwards in hair care, and this is why we have Planet Pluto Pseudo, because and we're not saying there's nothing wrong with, because everything old is new again. We do get that part, okay? But I just want you guys to know, because this particular platform is for the licensed professionals. Consumers are not going to be, just be aware that they understand that, we don't have to, y'all don't have to use that. Y'all could just use some hair grease and keep my price down and make it commensurate to today. Because they know we can't do press and curls for $15. You know what I'm saying? But $200.
It wasn't $15. It wasn't $15 in 1970.
Okay.
So, I mean, especially with them Shirley Temple curls. I mean,
All right, that takes some skills. You gotta take some skills. So by the way, in case you guys don't know, disco is Cheryl's favorite music. So before we bring in the lovely Kristiana Carnaghi, I'm gonna let you guys know what was the this we're gonna go into 1979. Okay, we keep going up and down on the years. For this week, the number one hit was Donna Summer's Hot Stuff. I got some hot stuff, which is appropriate for the topic tonight, baby, this evening. All right. Number two, we had We Are Family. Who made that? Don't tell them, Cheryl. Let's see how old you are. Do you know who made We Are Family? I got all my sisters with me. All right, let's see how old you guys are. Do you know who made that? And then last but not least, we had McFadden and Whitehead, which is going to take us right into our topic, which was Ain't No Stopping Us Now. We're leaving the negative, people. The world behind, 'cause there ain't no stopping us, all right? Ain't no stopping the history of Annie Turnbo-Malone, and Kristiana Carnaghi is definitely going to bring that in. Rashida, you are telling your... Okay, y'all some old school heads up in here. They're like, okay, Sister Slim, I'm proud. Let me give y'all a round of applause. Round of applause. Y'all gonna get some Wale round of applause up in here. I see how y'all did that thing. Okay, so yeah, so Sister Sledge made We Are Family, and that's definitely appropriate for tonight. That's right. Come on, y'all. We are family. Love their hair, by the way. All right, so we are ready to bring in the lovely Kristiana Carnaghi. All right, we're gonna do part two. We're gonna continue. In case you guys are like, what's going down? What's going down? What's going down tonight on Planet Pluto Pseudo is Erased in Plain Sight: The Real Legacy of Annie Turnbo-Malone, Part 2. So let's keep the hand claps going. You guys, if you can drop some hand clap emojis in the chat, we would truly appreciate that. And let's get ready to bring in the beautiful, I call her my princess, by the way.
I call her the incomparable.
Oh, the incomparable princess. How about that? The incomparable princess, Kristiana Carnaghi, the Annie Turnbo-Malone historian. There she is. Come on now, put your hands together now. Stand up now. Come on now. I knew you was gonna say that, Cheryl. That they don't know who made that. That was the OJs, okay? The OJs have a song called "Put Your Hands Together," okay?
Yeah.
So yes, y'all, thank y'all for coming on in. We appreciate. Yes, the room is getting full. I guess you guys are here for it. We appreciate all the support. Here, by the way, if you want to, you can go ahead on and hit that thumbs up button, because we promise you guys that this is a history lesson that you do not want to miss. And if you are a licensed professional or just a history buff like me, Kilolo, then you guys are going to enjoy this wonderful historical account of Annie Turnbo-Malone. Okay, so what's going on, Kristiana? How are you?
I'm doing well. Thank you for asking. How are you?
Yes, we are so glad that you are back
we
here.
ready now.
Ready.
Say we ready, we ready. Now we do this. The building is getting full. Now, just right quick, Cheryl. Can you recap? Y'all come on in. Come on in. Y'all get your popcorn and y'all Kool-Aid. I got my Ritz crackers. Okay. Everybody, this is that type of lesson tonight. Cheryl, if you could, for people who are new that's coming in, can you let them know how you met Kristiana? And then Kristiana, you can let everybody know a little bit about who you are so we can all be on the same page with part 2 of Erased in Plain Sight, the real legacy of Annie Turbo-Malone. So, Cheryl, take it away. How'd you meet the
Actually,
incomparable princess?
Christiana reminded us last week, and we share a colleague, and his name, and you guys really need to look this man up. His name is Joel Freeman, and he started a teaching course, and it was called The White Man's Guide to African History. And we were on a call together, and he introduced us, and we started clicking, and we've never let each other go since. I mean, not like we was talking every day, but every so month, we would check in with each other and say, hey, and she would call me and say, oh, Cheryl, this is going on. Did you know this? And I was like, oh, no, I didn't know this. And then I was like, girl, this was going on. Did you know this? And she would say, oh, no, I didn't know this. So we had just been clicking. I mean, since what,
So
2015?
That's the sister from another mister. Okay.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Right.
And we
Okay, so
share this love for this particular woman. But I want her to retell the story of just how Annie Malone kind of like hijacked her life. The spirit of Annie Malone just hijacked her life.
All right. So, Kristiana, you could take it away and let everybody know. How did you become enthralled and captured, enraptured, and the illustrious Annie Turbo-Malone?
I get involved in history when history has been lied to you. So whenever there's some sort of an inaccuracy that you're just like, no, that doesn't sound right. And I don't know if it was Cheryl who called me or who called me first and started asking questions about Annie Malone. Had very little information. All I knew is that she was like, it was the name on the orphanage. They had a May Day parade for every year. Not a whole lot of information. So we're kind of like stuck there. And then when you go and research her, the information on her gravestone is not even correct. So you have a lot of inaccuracies.
Hold on. People may not believe that, but I'm going to show you guys what she's talking about. So this is her gravestone. So what's wrong with this gravestone? Is this the correct gravestone?
That is Annie that's Annie Minerva Turnbo-Malone's gravestone. She did die in 1957. Absolutely. She was a pioneer beautician and she did found Poro College. However, she was not born in 1969. So she was born.
Lord.
Yes.
Oh, I thought that was 1869. Oh, okay.
Oh, I mean 1869. Yes.
Okay.
Hello, glasses.
Oh.
So 1869, she wasn't born then. She was born later, a lot later.
Oh,
and no woman wants to be like 8 years older than she's supposed to. I promise you.
Y'all know I'm 21. Y'all better go on somewhere with all of that. Okay. Wow. Okay. Now, did that you know of? Did someone did a family member make this, or do we know how this?
So
I don't know.
I believe that came from a family member with a great heart. However, as time goes on, you're going to find more inaccuracies in the past. And that's just something that as time moves forward, you're going to either uncover or find out the inaccuracies. And one of the things that you can do is you can go to the census, and she wasn't even born in the 1870 census.
Okay.
So you have to look at that 1870 census. She wasn't even born. She didn't come out, and you see her in, I think, the 1880 census for the first time, and she's 3 years old there.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right.
So
Okay.
you have to go, when you're researching things, you go to that first hand as far back as you can. So
Gotcha.
you're looking at a census records, you're looking at movements, and then you compare those census records with other census records. Because remember, it could be a neighbor telling the information, or it could be somebody just jotting down information. They misspell
Yeah.
things. They didn't even
Mm-hmm.
have her last name correct on some of the censuses.
Oh,
So,
thank you. Okay. All right. I
Dang.
got you. All
if
right.
you,
Okay. So we're starting off with unfortunately they have her birth year wrong. Now the last episode when you were on with us, we left off with we started off with a lot about her life in the beginning, but then as we got towards the end of the first part of the interview, we showed a clip where a young lady had claimed that, you know, the fall of Annie Turbo-Malone would be because of her relationships with a guy. So a man was the fall of Annie Turbo-Malone. So what we're gonna do is that we're gonna have you walk us through her professional career, but we promised everyone that we would start with some of the worst stuff that we hear. Now I erased the clip, but the young lady was, you
that's
know,
okay.
she sounded pretty credible, you know, that, you know,
She was
Annie
gorgeous.
Turbo, yeah, that her career, you know, was because of a guy. So let's talk about who's this mysterious gentleman that was in her life and what role did he play in the rise or the fall or whatever. So let's clear that up and then let's move through exactly what did she do. So let's start there because that is something that's really out here in these social media streets, is that a man is the reason why,
Well,
you know.
right, and to just be real more detailed is that, and two, the women that were powerful and in business of that era seems to be the fall because they'd gotten divorced or it because of a divorce. Okay, and then you can pick up from there. Go ahead.
Let's hit the first divorce with Milson Pope.
Okay.
That happened in around 1907. And how I know it's around 1907 is she had a court file going on with the Bedford. The last name of the woman was Bedford, who had patented or stole some of her patented Poro products and was selling them under Bedford Hair Grower. And the St. Louis Courts Department has that case along with some of those pirated hair products in their cases still today. So that's over in the archives in the St. Louis City Courts. Um,
Okay.
Annie herself said, basically, I was married and I'm not married now. Now, when a woman is no longer protected at that time by a man, there are several people that would try to take advantage of that situation. And so there are people basically selling her products under their own name. Maybe they're adding some snake oil or some grease to it, and it's not her products really all the way, but they've started with them so that they work a little bit. But Annie was strong and to the point. She was very witty. She was also building her empire at that time. She was very involved in the AMC church. She was very involved with the YWCA. She was very involved with Mary Bethune and also Washington and W. Du Bois. She wanted to climb and lift up while climbing. I don't know if you can pull up, I think it's number 17, lifting as we climbed.
Is this it? No, is that her pin? Is this the pin?
Oh, that's a beautiful pin. That's from 1918 when she opened the doors at Poro College. It was like a little giveaway. I love that.
Let me see. Okay, here we is, number 17. Let me just open this up here. Oh, you know what? Okay, here we go.
Oh, the
There we go.
banner. Yes. So lifting as we climb, this was huge because she and her secret society wanted to make sure that every woman was not going to be left basically on the streets to starve, that they would have an opportunity to grow and to be self-sufficient should they not have a man in their life. And she was making
Mhm.
sure that that was happening. And as her
But
business was booming, she met this debonair gorgeous man from her hometown, somebody that she could trust, also a neighbor. So if you go through the census records, his family was one of the neighbors in that town.
Really?
Okay,
And
and this is him, and this is Aaron, correct?
this is Aaron, her beloved
Okay,
Aaron.
there.
That was before he got sick. So he got sick from the Spanish flu. That was his wedding picture. So he got sick shortly thereafter and lost a lot of weight, got extremely skinny, and had a really hard time. But Annie took care of him, and through her knowledge of cleanliness and, keeping the disease away, he survived.
Yeah. Now remember,
Typical.
guys, this what you call it, the Spanish flu would be
Yes.
like the equivalent of the COVID-19. So this is the other thing that I'm glad we're gonna get. Now we're gonna get into some juice after you clear up that this guy really take her down. Is how she and Madam CJ Walker they were making millions during a pandemic. So before we move into that, so did he? Let's just cut through the chase. Did the husband take her down? Did a guy? I have another picture. You want me to show it of him?
Yeah.
Okay. So did a gentleman take Annie Turbo down?
He wasn't strong enough. No.
Okay.
No.
He wasn't strong enough to take her, but he sure looked good though. Look at him there. Okay, Aaron.
She was a
Aaron on
tiny
this.
little thing, but she was feisty and she was fearless.
Yeah. Mm.
Okay. That's her.
That's her. That's her wedding picture.
Oh, now see how dark she looks, a lot darker. That was the other thing. People was saying that you remember the scene that the light skin, dark skin, but we cleared that up the last time. Annie Turbo-Malone was not light. Like this light makes me look light. I see what you're saying now, but I'm
the
a
light's
dark
hitting your
sister.
face, and so
Yeah.
it reflects because that's just how it is.
Right. Okay.
All
right.
And that's one of the things that we wanted to clear up because Self-Made, the Netflix movie, made her my complexion. Yeah. And she was not. Yeah.
Right. And so
I thought they made her my complexion. Yours more mine than yours.
So a guy did not take her down. He did not have the chutzpah, and Annie was a pretty strong and fearless person, so that did not happen. So please do not, there is no documentation, no proof that a man had anything to do with her career. So let's bring on the rise. You talked about her having this product called the Wonderful Hair Grower. So let's start off with, how did she get to this, making this product and wanting to sell it? So let's give them the 1-2 punch. How does she come to that? And then we'll get to the school. Which one came first? Like, give us, how did that go? Did the school come first? The product? How did that go?
All right. You have to understand that this is just out after a war. Okay. And so when you're coming out of a war, there's a lot of poverty and there's a lot of problems. But for the African-American person, it was a little bit different. And the difference was people didn't understand.
I'm sorry for cutting you off. We do have a question in the chat. Do we know who their wedding photographer was? They really like these pictures. So let me pull it back up right quick. Of her when she got, sorry guys, sorry. So this is her when she got, do we know who took this picture? Is there any,
they were taken up in Peoria, and I'm not sure, but they were the same people that did her sister's wedding.
Okay.
Because
all right.
Agbar Bryson has those pictures, and they're the same quality as the other ones. I think that there's one with them. I think that there's a picture that actually has the name of the place in Metropolis, Illinois, and it's on the bottom of one of Aaron's pictures. And I think it's the tall, skinny one of him. So I don't know if you have that one or not, but Uh,
I don't have that one. Okay, but we will see if we can get that for you. I will look through the images that you gave me, and Nola, darling, we will see if we can put in after the live who actually took those pictures. Okay, all right. So now let's pick back up how she was able to start her. Which one came first? The school, the product. How did this go down? How did she build this hair grower empire?
Right, and you left off as after the war, there was a lot of poverty, and for
there's
African
a lot.
Americans,
Well, they
it was
didn't.
different.
It was different because they didn't understand the word freedom. Because freedom was just an idea at the time. It wasn't something that a lot of people from the South had, and the people in the North, they were struggling just to make ends meet. They were the washerwoman, they were the barbers, they were trying to get the sewing jobs. They were doing whatever they could to survive.
Mhm.
So when you're no longer on the plantation, you're not getting things provided for you like your housing and your food. And so a lot of people were just starving on the streets or being left at the orphanages
Mm, okay,
or being
makes sense.
used or
Hmm.
trafficked. And
Okay,
That part,
we yeah, we
yeah.
got you. We got you. Yeah.
there's a lot of cooks that
So
came out of the
now
South too.
right.
So
So now
making
we have her in this living conditions, and so is this when she decided to make hair care products? Was everybody doing this, or why hair for her?
So her family was well connected. The family that she grew up in, even though her mother died when she was young, her dad died shortly thereafter, or actually had a stroke and then died a few years later. But after he had the stroke, she was living with her sister, and they lived in a very affluent African American um, situation. And their family was politically connected, and there was a lot of education that happened and teaching. And this was, you couldn't have your hair, you couldn't have lice, you couldn't have the dandruff, you could, that those things were considered improper. And so she was taught from a very young age, this is how you are. But a lot of people weren't. And she saw that
Right.
hole. She saw it. She
Okay.
saw that there was a lack of education in this particular area. On top of that, there's lack of education for reading and writing. If you don't know how to read and write, people can lie to you and say things, and then you can sign your life away, and people were being marketed and stolen that way. Um,
Hmm.
Wow,
education was a whole freedom that people didn't understand, and she wanted to make it available.
wow.
So she
That
saw a so
now that
she
makes
pretty
sense.
much saw she saw a gap and between what she was getting and what people around her wasn't getting, and she decided to make this lovely, I mean, you got Poro system, Poro hair, skin, and nails. So did she just have hair products? So here, like, I didn't know, I'm looking at this right now,
Face
I didn't know
creams,
until last week. So
lotions.
tell us everything that she created to fill this gap.
Oh, she had lotions, face creams, she had makeup, she had things for eczema, she had, you know, what about the barbicides and those type of cleaning agents, the vinegars and things to clean the products and to clean the area. People had to be taught how to use these in their everyday life. You can't put acetone on your skin and expect to get rid of the acne because you're burning your skin. So you have to learn how to use different things. Now, at that time when her big boom happened, um, it was during the largest World's Fair here in St. Louis, 1904 World's Fair. And at this time is when hundreds of thousands of African Americans migrated to St. Louis for this World's Fair. There were business opportunities, there were jobs, they were building these structures, they needed people to service and clean up and run people from one side of the fair to the other side of the fair. They needed a lot of workers and a lot of help. It was a lot of business, and It was
So
also
that was
the
like the
largest.
original Black Expo, in other words.
Yeah, right.
Okay, I'm
Yeah.
just saying, y'all, the original Black Expo. Okay, all right.
Original
So
Bronner
now
brother.
the original
Absolutely.
so she decided to go there and now what was she selling? Just her hair products, or did she have her whole lotions and makeup, and what was she selling there?
So at the World's Fair, in order to get a good job for like a runner or somebody who's working in the cooks or in the cafeterias, you had to be very clean. You had to have nice skin. You had to look the part. Otherwise, you didn't get paid that.
Right.
You
Okay.
got more paid for a washerwoman or something on the lower end of things. So
All
the
right.
higher paid jobs, you had to look the part, kind of like nowadays.
Right.
Mm, mm.
Okay.
And also,
So what
and
did
let me
she
just say
sell
this,
though? Okay, go ahead. Go ahead, sure. I'm sorry.
but it's very important because we separate hair care from beauty culture. They didn't separate it. Hair care was part of skin.
Right.
Everything was together. Men's, it wasn't separated. So tonics, skin tonics, you had auto toilets, you had skin toners, you had make sure that you had deodorants, and you had it's called beauty culture. And I know we
Oh.
segmented today, but they didn't segment it. And
Aw.
so
We
therefore,
shouldn't have done that.
I
And you know
know.
what? Can I just say this before I ask you the next question as we move on? You know, when I was in the Gambia, they don't do that in cosmetology either. Like when I first went there, right, guys, I kept
Mhm.
asking them, what do you want your expertise to be? And they were like, what? And I'm like, are these people slow? Like, are y'all slow? Like, I'm thinking this to myself. So I'm like, what do you want to specialize? Do you just want to do hair? Do you want to do hair coloring? Do you want to do nails? Do you want to do makeup? And again, they were like, huh? What you talking about, Willis? And I said, well, maybe it's me. And then so then finally one of the students says, no, we do the whole thing. Like, why would you come to the hair salon and just get your hair done? I was like this. Shit.
Well,
There you
in
go.
Annie's salon,
Like,
because you
what?
waited out in the foyer, you sat out there and you got hand massages and neck massages and they rubbed your feet. You were out there for hours. And so this was kind of like a whole day event where they had a big salon, and in the salon where these beautiful couches and the women chit chat, and there was drinks and little cakes and things like this. And it was just a social place to go to not only have your little snack, but also to enjoy the
Coffee.
company of other women. And then you also got a hand massage and a neck massage. And I don't know if you guys have had those right before you get your hair done, but it loosens you up and you enjoy it more.
Right.
Okay.
And
So
and
she
that's
took,
why I don't ever remember them even having a conversation about price. It wasn't about price. It was about the experience. And here we are again today, talking about the same thing. And all of the techniques I think is in this story. But go ahead.
so the Annie Turbo-Malone, the real legacy is that Annie Turbo-Malone did not just have this hair grower. She
No.
had what Cheryl called a true beauty culture, which was from head to toe, underarms, under everywhere, culture of beautification for both male and female. So now the next question is, why is the emphasis put on the hair grower? Because even today, in the Black hair care, growing hair is like, I don't know, is Black folks like, are we obsessed with growing? I don't know. Maybe because I
Every
got here, I
culture
don't know.
is every culture is obsessed with growing hair. Every
Oh
culture.
well, shit. Well, why didn't I get the damn memo? Y'all wake up.
Drop that bomb. Come on now.
Okay, let me drop the
Like,
bomb. Hold on.
drop it,
Give me a
drop it,
minute.
drop it, drop it, drop it,
Give
drop.
me a
Just gotta
minute.
find the
Give
bomb.
me a minute. I gotta find the bomb. There it is. Okay. There you go. One more time. Sorry, guys. I gotta drop the bomb again. Every culture wants to
Every
grow hair.
culture. Every culture wants to grow hair.
we have a historian in the house because my ghetto ass, I don't know what the hell I be talking about. Okay, okay. All right, okay. So hair growing was the thing as it is now. So that was just the
Correct.
thing.
The
All right,
more luscious and
because Madam
beautiful your
CJ
hair was,
Walker. Go ahead. I'm
had
sorry. Go ahead.
she had ugly hair for a little while, but she actually had very beautiful hair. That was one of her trademark. And having that beautiful, gorgeous hair was, look at Mary Beth Bouthane, look at um oh my gosh, Hattie Brown, look at
Magdalena Walker.
there you go. Also look over at Josephine Baker. Every woman had gorgeous, beautiful
Marjorie
hair.
Joyner. Mm-hmm.
Margaret, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Your hair was considered your crown. Ooh, can we pull up number, oh my gosh, where is it? It's where they, okay, so it's number 7, lucky number 7.
Okay, rebranding. Here we go.
There
All
you
right.
go.
See the crown?
Ooh, look at that. Did y'all see the
So
Sphinx? You better the scepter.
Come on,
what
now
are
that
these?
is called the Horus knot.
Wait, it's called African hair. Is this dresses?
the one is a Zulu, the one over there with the tall, skinny, that's the Zulu tribe. And then you have different tribes in
The
Africa.
Bantu. Mm-hmm. Yes.
Now let me just can I y'all know I'm about to be Betty. I can't take it. I can't. You know what, Chris? If you can tell me to shut up, I'm not even going. But let me just tell y'all something. First of all, y'all heard what Cheryl said: hair and toilet preparations. All right. Now look at these hairstyles. This is why we said two things. Number one, we have to stop saying that cosmetology was the white person's thing. We got to stop saying that. Number two, look at them cornrow styles. Look at that.
Look at Wonder Woman.
Swoop. Oh my gosh.
You see Wonder Woman in the corner?
Yeah, we wearing these hairstyles today. And Shirley, you see that? It says the Majesty, the Poro graduate, the High Priestess. So, did she just the High Priestess of Beauty? I'm about to jack that. I'm stealing that, Matt. Annie Turnbo-Malone. Sure. I'm sorry. Now, how did she get to this type of a rebranding? And look at the girl. The girl in the middle looked like she could have. I know somebody who looked like her, like right now. That hairstyle, we do that hairstyle today. So, what made her? Did she rebrand to the African hairdressing, or
So
did she highlight it more?
After her divorce and the many near misses with her life, she left St. Louis. She moved herself and 150 of her employees and their families to Chicago.
Okay.
So it's not just 150 employees, it's 150 employees and their families.
Whoa.
She moved all of them to Chicago. So you have to look at this as a proprietor. If you're going to relocate everything that you have, your whole business, you're moving, you're jumping ship out of St. Louis, it's going to cost you. But it wasn't worth her life. And in fact, she tried to get her attorney and best friend, Homer G. Phillips, to jump ship with her. And he didn't. And a few years later, he was stabbed to death in St. Louis.
So what was the violence about towards her? Like, why was everybody so violent towards her that she had to leave St. Louis?
Oh, here's the deal. It's in politics today. It's in business today. If you're successful and somebody finds you as a threat, guess what? They're ready to take you out. And it's today now. It's just how it is. But she didn't believe in taking people out.
Take me out.
And two, she was actually taking and saving young women and putting them into their independence. And that was
Absolutely.
messing with the patriarchy. I mean, in certain systems.
Not
And
only
so
that,
that
but it's
is,
also
yeah.
she's educating these women. These women now want the ability to vote. The silent march. She's educating them that they want representation for their taxation. So it's not only just a hair care movement. A lot of political events happened on the Poro College. Ooh, I need you to bring up. Oh, do I have it? Oh no, do I not have that one in this one? I was hoping that I had Lloyd Lionel Gaines in there from Lincoln University. So
I think you did. I don't know if you sent it to her, but you did send it.
So
Okay,
Lloyd
is that
Lionel Gaines, it's not in my list right now. So
Mhm.
he challenged that a Black man who was an attorney needed to be educated under something other than Lincoln University, and he wanted to be educated as an attorney in a white man's schooling system. And he challenged this and took it to the United States Supreme Court. He is still missing to this day after he won the judgment. Guess where
Wow.
Lincoln University was held at?
Annie Turbo-Malone's place.
Poro College, St. Louis, Missouri.
Wow. So now we're getting into the hair care products came first, and then look at this college. Jesus
Right.
Christ. Look at this college. So explain the college to us. I see 1, 2, 3. Is that what's going on at the top? Can you break down this picture for us? Look at all this glass, big picture windows on the side, and she's got 2 levels. So what's happening in this college? Whew, Jesus.
I'm going to start from the very top. We're going to
Now,
work our way down.
and can I interject?
Yes,
It is Poro College,
absolutely.
not Poro Beauty School.
It's Poro College.
College. I want y'all to wrap that around your mind. Poro College, not Poro Beauty School. There wasn't no beauty school. Okay? All right. There was a beauty school in it, but make sure that you don't confuse those two. Go ahead.
So
I
at
missed
the
that,
very
Cheryl.
top
Thank you.
there, you see a beautiful pergola, and those pergolas are covering some of the most luscious and beautiful herbs and spices you've ever seen in your life. That's a rooftop garden. That rooftop garden supplied most of Poro College with all of their herbs and spices. And then if you're going down, the next level down, that is where she had the salons and some of the private rooms for some of her students who lived on campus. And also, I believe her private quarters were on that next floor down, so that 3rd floor there. That was also where she did a lot of the actual treatments. The next group there on that next floor there, that's where you had a lot of what was that? There was the hospital room, which is where Henry Tinsley, one of the most famous African-American doctors, was. And she hired him to basically, before they had healthcare, she had her own healthcare for Poro, her students, and her employees.
I see you, Cheryl. Hold on. So let me just recap this now. Let me just because universities today don't have this. So let me Kristiana, we thank you so much for this is some illustrious Black history. So here we have Poro College at the top. What's that fancy word you call that again? A pergola?
Pergola. Where they have all of the that was basically a greenhouse. 2
Okay,
block
but new
L
word,
shape.
y'all.
Yeah.
Pergola. So we
Where
have a
she had all
pergola
her
at
herbs.
top. All
Right.
right.
Do you see
And
the
then
wooden beams up there?
Yeah.
Those wooden beams come over and it provides a little bit of shade, but not too much shade so that the plants don't get overheated. It gives her a little bit more control. And she could also hang the watering systems from there so it can be automatically sprinkled with water.
Y'all know we see that in the grocery store today, but I ain't gonna say nothing. So at the top, we have the Poro College flag. Right beneath that, new word today is the pergola. And then right underneath that, what was on that next floor again? It was the
Those are like
salon.
the salon,
Yeah.
the private
The
quarters,
suite,
living
the salon
facilities.
suite.
Wow. And then below that was
Right.
the hospital and her living quarters. Okay,
No,
correct.
she's up on the third floor. So she would be
Okay,
up on
so
the third floor. And
all
then
right.
on that floor is like the shipping and receiving. That's where they had the bread makers. That's where they had the sewing. That's where they had the seamstresses for all the uniforms because they made most of the uniforms for most of the companies in St. Louis. That's where they had
Damn.
I don't know how to explain it, but that's where they had the meat and potatoes of the businesses. And then down at the
Okay.
bottom floor, this was the beauty floor. This was where you walk in and there was an ice cream parlor. And then
Ooh.
there's a big giant larger than any church, but it's a stadium. It's if you can pull up picture the one with the
All right,
piano, that's
all right.
16.
That's
Okay, hold on.
16.
All right. Sorry, my computer is just a little slow here.
That's
All right, let
okay.
me
I'm going to
take
just keep
this
talking.
down. Let me take
So,
this down. So we're gonna go ahead, keep going.
so she had the ice cream parlor. She tasted that for the first time at the World's Fair, but she wanted a place to entertain, to pray, to hold meetings, and to make people comfortable and welcome. And this was the stage. This piano was a gift from Aaron, and it was a very, very expensive baby grand piano.
Look at
And
that P up there. Look at that P
Yeah.
for the Poro. Yeah, no, you see that, Cheryl? Look at that little Tiffany lamp. This lady was class. Hey, look at the drapery and oh man, the upholstery. This
And
was
the
some.
wonderful part about this is that we did not have a chance to go into because it was segregation and Jim Crow, right? And so for us to even have these types of experiences, because you can go into Saks Fifth Avenue, you can go into Blooming's, and you can go into Neiman Marcus, and they'll have a piano player playing. And how they get some of the beauty culture of Black cosmetology and salon and beauty and African beauty culture, how that just became synonymous. And I think they called them parlors or beauty
Mm.
parlors. And
Now,
you'll
would you
see in
like for me
old
to?
Hollywood movies. Go ahead.
Would you like for me to show the clip with the inside the school that you
oh,
created as well? All
oh
right, we're gonna take you
yes.
guys on a 19 to 18 inside the school here. Take a look at that. Woo wee.
Look at that
So what are
water
we
fountain.
looking at
Look
here?
at the water fountain.
So
That
the
is,
water
it
fountain.
looks like the women's sewing there because I see sewing machines. So that might be a typewriter there in the front, but the rest of it's like sewing machines. So that would be where they're making the uniforms. So they're actually constructing and learning sewing to make uniforms.
The Gay and Girl Skills Academy. Cheryl talked about the water. So tell us about the water because this was really important during this time. So let me show it again. So let's talk about the water. Look at that
Most
water cooler
houses,
there.
they didn't have running water, and especially not in African American, less African American communities that were just trying to survive.
Yeah.
They didn't have running water. So when
Poro College did.
Poro College did, Poro College had a lot of things that even white people didn't have.
Yeah.
So this was very fancy. There was nothing like this, but to have water there in
I'm
the
sorry. Can I be petty? Excuse me. Do y'all see them silk presses? Can I do it again? I'm sorry. I'm sorry, not sorry. That go to clean water. We're gonna talk about that a little bit, okay? Now
oh
look at
that
them silk. Look at them silk presses with the Poro. Okay. Yeah, y'all see them silk presses? I don't think it was no air. Was it air conditioning back then?
Most places weren't, but Poro was. I didn't have air conditioning until the 1980s. Are you kidding? So for me to find out that she had it in 1917, I was like, what?
All right. Okay. So now we got some questions here. Sorry, y'all. So here we go. All right. All right, sure. I'm gonna pass this one to you. So Real Roots is saying, how did we go? I'm sorry. Now I'm trying to figure out how we went from college to beauty school. I'm gonna sit back. I got my damn notebook. Go ahead, sure. Hey, y'all tell you better have your notebook.
Great question. Okay. Now, in the same 2-block L shape, 2-block shaped building. Okay. Because it's not a straight, it's not a straight 2-block building. It's an L shape. Okay. So you have 2 streets that can see inside your building. So that was what we talk about a beauty center. But she also mixed, okay, because education was education. It was not really what we call an occupation. Beauty culture was just because it was attached to sales. It was attached to being an agent. You were attached to being, you weren't locked into the occupation. It was not just an occupation. When, after the Great Depression, okay, everyone saw Black people making all this money and everything, such things of that nature, that's when cosmetology began to be peeled out, beauty culture separated, and then it was just the doing. And then that's when we became beauticians. You notice agent or culturist is not the same as a beautician. A beautician is just to the technical portion of something that is attached so they can charge you for a license. Okay. You got a diploma at Poro College. Okay. It was not beauty college. It was Poro College. Okay. And so once they started to make the licensure kind of, sanitation and regulations, and then it became just training, that was not Poro College. Make sure that you know, and even Madam C.J. Walker, as it became, you guys see that blue book, it only has, now, if you had a specialty and you wanted to specialize and focus on that, that's fine. But she numbered her diplomas, okay? And you got all of the medical, you got an intermediate medical introduction, you got dermatological introduction, you got scalp diseases and disorders, you got everything. And you notice there's no word cosmetologist found on any of that stuff. Because cosmetology is separate from beauty culture of African Americans. Cosmetology is now what we call a secular formal training of just one skill segment of beauty, which is just hair and scalp preparations, as what they call them.
It's scalp and hair treatment and beauty culture. God damn, Yate, that was a good ass question.
Good question.
See, our asses is going backwards. So now I can't even talk. I'm floored.
Mm-hmm. And now you're getting ready to, and Kristiana's getting ready to talk about all the things she did with in Poro College because she did a lot more things, and she's going to talk about the law and medicine and how she was, and then pilot school, and she's going to talk about. I mean, this woman was absolutely incomparable, just top tier excellent.
Okay.
All right.
Go ahead.
Okay. Can I leave this
before-
up or take this down?
And
we're gonna pull up number 3. Can you pull up number 3 first?
All right. Yeah,
We got to
okay,
get
let me
something
take-
out of the
let me
way
take down.
first before we jump into Annie's divorce. We're gonna go
Okay. All
knee
right.
deep into something else.
You gonna take that
hold
down?
on. I'm too.
Okay.
I'm so. What's up, Free Natty, Madam Flair? Yes, it's just my computer. You know, it's just
Okay, no
technology.
problem, no problem.
A
I
couple
love it.
shout outs while we're waiting for this thing. Waiting for this to pop down. Sorry, guys. It's just my computer. What's up, Free Nally at sbcglobal.net, Madam Flair. We also have LB. We got our homegirl, Weekay, our de facto producer, Esther. I hope we are making you proud. I really, really do, because of you, we are able to just take this whole podcast to another level. So we appreciate you guys, Kay, La Earth. So we thank everybody. As a matter of fact, before she goes into the next one, I can hear Weekay say, now is a good time for you guys to do this to help change the narrative about Annie Turnbo-Malone being erased in plain sight, her legacy. And guys, we are on part 2 with the lovely Kristiana Carnaghi. And let me just pull this up. Here we go. Show them what they need to do right quick. Oh, she's drinking some water. Here we go. Bam, do this right now. Oh boy, I sure wish we could call somebody in the green room to say, you said pull up picture number 3, you said?
3. Mhm.
All right. Okay. 3. Here we go. Charles Joseph. All right. Who is Charles Joseph?
I was waiting for Cheryl.
Shut. Hold down your hats, pin down your wigs.
Okay, hold on. Let me pin down my wig. Hold on. Let me pin it down.
Hold on.
Okay. We got Charles Joseph. Okay, looks pretty, okay.
And
All
his
right,
his wife, and his lovely wife, Octavia.
Okay.
Yeah,
This is Charles
I said I wasn't gonna say nothing.
You said
I
you
said I
weren't
wasn't gonna say
so-
nothing.
Now, would this be like her attorney? This is like an investor or someone who kind of poured as we move into, we're going a little bit more in her career. So is Charles Joseph like
right now, Charles Joseph was a media man that Annie had to work with at times. However, they weren't on the best of friends, but they both attended the same church at the AME church.
Okay.
And he was a media man here in St. Louis. There is only one African American, Charles Joseph Walker, in St. Louis. That's a media man. But he had a wife named Octavia, not Sadie.
Okay. Boom. Okay. We're kind of confused here. I'm kind of lost.
I love that you're lost. So Sadie Breedlove, when she went to Colorado, she came back, Madam C.J. Walker, Madam Charles Joseph Walker. And supposedly she married this man who had a wife and children. And he was part of the AME church, and he was very, very prominent. And there's his nose.
Are you trying to get us kicked off of YouTube? Are you trying to get us kicked off of Facebook? Are you trying to get us kicked off of Instagram? Are you telling me that Madam C.J. Walker was the side piece to, you know what?
I don't know, but I do know that that's Charles Joseph Walker. And I know that there's only one. You can go into the city census records. You can go into the city directories that are located at the Historical Society. You can look them all up. There's one, Charles Joseph, African American.
And Octavia
was his wife.
Maybe he died after Madam C.J. Walker. Did she come after Madam C.J. Walker?
Oh no, they were married for many, many years. And he didn't marry after she died.
Now wait a minute.
To my
Now.
knowledge, he did not marry. So bring out the marriage certificate because I haven't found one.
I'm speechless. I'm sorry, y'all. This just threw me for sure. Get back. Sure, get back. Go on, sit down somewhere. See, I don't even know what to say, y'all, because so how is she Madam CJ Walker then? I mean, now I'm that's why we need therapy.
Hold on, we touched base on this last week a little bit, but we didn't get knee deep into it. So let's get a little knee deep into it.
All right, George Clinton.
Sadie Breedlove.
Not just knee deep. She didn't want to meet me. All right, so Matt, I don't know what to say, y'all. Hey, Kristiana said I didn't. Sure, why you ain't tell me this beforehand? I'm up here talking about something. Is this her attorney or somebody that invested? So I can't. So Charles Joseph, y'all look at my hair. I'm okay. Take it away. I gotta just recap. I need a drink. Shit.
And that's why history is very important, because Annie Malone had a relationship with Sadie Breedlove, and that is Sarah Breedlove. Former, how she became Madam C.J. Charles Walker. Who knows?
We're not exactly
wait
sure.
A minute now. Wait. Now I know y'all gonna say I'm wrong. No disrespect, Madam C.J. Walker.
Mm-hmm.
But was she a madam? Because I mean, he was married. I'm sorry. Maybe madam was a title back in those days. My lady, madame,
Not Ms.
Madam was used for a lot of things. Annie did not like the name Madam.
She did not.
Annie was very much so against it. And on many occasions, people tried to call her Madam, and she would set the record straight immediately and say, no, I'm Annie Malone. Or Annie Turnbo before it was Malone when they tried to call her Madam Turnbo. No.
See?
She wasn't having
Wait a minute. Now hold on. Now see what happened in the chat. She said
you
she
can
got to
go
go
watch
back
that all
and
you want, but that's something somebody's spoon feeding you, and you can eat that as much as you want. But go and look at the history records. That is not what happened. I've got AME's church. You can go into the Missouri Historical Society, look it up, ask for the papers on the AME church and whatever they have on African American history, and you can start looking through them. And there's history hidden.
I'm sorry. You know that's a black podcast. Didn't I tell y'all when we had company, don't be after that? I'm sorry. Look what's coming up next. Hey, I told y'all to stop. We got company tonight, Rochina. I told y'all. Thank you, Kay. Thank you, Kay. Let's stay the. I'm like you. This is too much information. I'm sorry. So, for real though, how in the hell did she become Madam CJ Watt? You gonna tell me something before now? Come on now.
All right. So Sadie Breedlove, she moved here to St. Louis after Vicksburg.
Did he leave his? I'm sorry. Maybe he left his wife or something?
He died.
Huh?
Come on. Kay said, let's stay the course. Come on.
So when Sadie Breedlove, Sarah Breedlove, came here to St. Louis, it was after she left Vicksburg. She had already had a baby in tow, which was Alelia, her daughter, Alelia McWilliams was her name at the time. So Alelia McWilliams, that was the name of Sadie's husband who married her at 13 down in Vicksburg, Mississippi. So when she moved here, she moved in with her brothers. She had two brothers who were barbers. Both of those barbers and Hattie Breedlove, which was James's wife, worked for Annie Malone. At the time, Annie Turnbo. So Annie Turnbo supplied employment for Hattie Breedlove. Until the day she died, Hattie Breedlove was one of her matrons, one of the people that lived on her campus, worked on her campus, was with her through thick and thin. This is
So Hattie and Sadie are two different people.
Hattie is Madam C.J. Walker's sister-in-law, her brother's wife, and she lived with them until James died. He was killed on the streets of St. Louis. And then her other brother, or I don't know which brother died first, but she lost both of her brothers on the streets of St. Louis. And she had to work 7 days a week as a washerwoman. And Alelia McWilliams is now on the census. The daughter is now on the census records at the Colored Orphanage for St. Louis.
So Madam C.J. Walker had to give up her daughter?
Well, yes. She was in the orphanage here in St. Louis. And that was after 1903, after her brother had died. Brothers have died. Both of her brothers had died. They died within a year of each other.
Okay.
Okay, so continue.
Is this when she met Mr. CJ, Mr. Charles Joseph Walker?
I'm not sure when or how she met him, but I know around that time in 1903 that she was moved from St. Louis and she went to a town in Colorado. This town in Colorado that she was at, can you pull up? I don't know if I have the picture of it in this grouping. This is
Quick question.
how much was Madam CJ older than her daughter? So according to the census record, she was 17 or 18 years older than her daughter. That's when she supposedly had Alelia. However, when you're looking at things, that could be off by anywhere of 2 to 4 years. So she could have had her at 13 to 17 years old. I don't know when exactly she gave birth to her, to be honest with you. I don't, the information is not clear.
Question. So the next question, did she give up her daughter because she, the grief and, when her brothers passed away?
Money, house. She didn't have one. The brothers were supplying her with the ability to live. Washerwomen's didn't make but a couple cents a week. I mean, you barely had enough to feed yourself, and let alone a child.
Okay. Follow now she's in Colorado.
So Walker Industries, she named after her daughter. Her daughter's name was Alelia McWilliams.
Okay, so La Earth, that may not be true because the daughter's last name was McWilliams. Okay.
Yeah,
right,
her daughter never became a Walker.
Okay, the daughter
she may have just taken on the name to be what we call legitimate, because that was important and you wanted to be connected with something, prestigious and and things of that nature. And that could have been Madam C.J. Walker's attorney's idea, but who knows? But you have to also understand, now she's in Colorado, and I don't know if you guys have the picture. She was looking for the picture about Colorado. Okay, because after Hattie died, which is her sister-in-law, and her two brothers.
Oh no, Hattie was alive all the way until Annie moved to Chicago. So Hattie was there, but Hattie had to supply her own life, and she was working for Annie, and Annie was giving her a very good payment and a life with Annie at Pine Street and Market Street, and then again on Ferdinand Street where Poro College was made. So Annie had 3 different buildings that Hattie is in the census records as living at.
Okay. And so now we move to Colorado. Sarah,
So Colorado
agree.
was having a big gold rush. And at that time, the unsinkable Molly Brown lived in the four courts of the four square there in that Colorado building or area. And that was a big mining town. But if you look at the entire state of Colorado, there weren't a whole lot of women there, even the ones that were providing services. And Molly, the unsinkable Molly Brown from the Titanic, she was known to make sure that women had jobs.
Now, you know, when you look up the unsinkable Molly Brown, I looked her up, and she came up as like a socialite. She married a very wealthy man. She's got a very illustrious history that touts her as a very upstanding young lady. Just so you guys should know, you're not going to find what she's saying. So go ahead, take it away. Keep going.
Well,
So
you will
I know
find
you know,
will find it on if you go to that town in Colorado. It talks about the red light district. It talks about Molly Brown. It talks about surviving and being survivors. And I'm not sure, but when Madam C.J. Walker emerged back here in St. Louis, Alelia McWilliams was going to private schools. Somebody was paying for that. Whether it was Annie or maybe Charles Joseph was paying for it, but not for his own children. So I'm not sure why he would pay for somebody else's blood to go to a private school and not his own kids. So I can't see Charles Joseph Walker doing that. But, you know, maybe he was smitten with the other person's kid. I don't know.
So we still don't, so do we have a date that Madam C.J. Walker connected with Charles Joseph Walker? We still don't know when this took place.
I wasn't in their bedroom.
I mean, like, okay.
There was no wedding on record. No.
That I have no.
And we've researched it.
Okay, so now we have Annie. So
it.
now we have Annie Malone, who has this school that's not just into hair and beauty culturists. Okay, so what else?
She's very political. She's very political, and she deals a lot with the media, and she is very obstinate when it comes to listening to what somebody else tells her that she has to do. She kind of toots her own horn and does her own thing. And at one point in time, nobody in St. Louis would move any of her products. Can we pull up number 2? Nobody in St. Louis would move any of Annie's products. They were like, no, we're not moving any Black woman stuff. Nope, not going to do it. And not only that, but they were going around and accosting students of Poro College so that they couldn't even walk to Poro College to attend their classes. And so Annie, she found a man who got burned out of Kansas City. His name was Walter Majors, aka Duck Majors. Who basically got his entire business, everything he owned was set fire to, completely destroyed. Him and his wife had no money, nothing. Some of his family had been murdered, and he needed a job and she needed a driver. So she funded him to have a driving school. And this driving school not only transported her agents, it transported her products, it transported her, and it moved the product across the country.
The first Uber, the first Lyft. Dang,
right. And Walter, and you talk about Walter Lewis Duck Majors. He was a sergeant and a master mechanic, mechanic.
Oh yeah,
and maybe all of those cars. He was hooking them up, baby. He was hooking them up.
Right. Okay. So in addition, so now she went from agent to culturalist, and now she has politics. Now she's moving her own products. What else was she doing inside this wonderful college?
Well, she worked for Calvin Coolidge, the president of the United States at that time. She worked for Harding, the president of the United States at that time. And if we can pull up picture number 9 to start off with.
All right, picture number 9. Here you go, guys.
This is Officer William Crockett. Officer William
Kenny
Crockett.
Jasmine Crockett? No, I'm just kidding. Okay. Okay.
He was shot in
So
the head.
William Crockett. Okay.
He was shot in the head. At that time, officers, if they did not return to work the following day, they would not get paid for the entire month. So after being shot in the head, he returned to work the following day. He was a very well-respected officer for the St. Louis Metropolitan Police Department, and he was on the rolls prior to 1902. I believe his earliest was 18, I want to say 99 or 89. I'm not sure when it was on the rolls, but he was on the rolls for the St. Louis Metropolitan Police Department that early. Now, if you look up what is the earliest or first African-American Black man who was an officer on any police department in the entire United States of America, it will come up as New York. New York is clearly not the first. Or if they are, we had one prior to 1902 in St. Louis.
Okay.
All right, keep going. Lord have mercy.
All right.
So-
next, what we got up next?
So as Annie's building her empire, she secured her building. She's building her building. In 1918, she opened up the doors to Poro. She has this amazing facility, but there's still a lot of what you call Jim Crowing and problems that are happening where her ville, the St. Louis Ville, is being policed by white men, and they didn't understand the African American culture or the streets or the people and how to talk to them. So she implored the mayor of St. Louis in 1921, for my people, by my people. She wanted an entire platoon of Black police officers. If you can pull up number 10.
Right. Okay, we cover. Okay, number 8, 9, 10. Okay, here's
So
the
these are
original
the first-
FUBU, For Us By Us.
Yep, For Us By Us. These are your originals. In 1921, they patrolled the Ville. They were also part of task force, and they were handling the crimes. And For My People, By My People lowered the crimes like you would not believe.
That's what I'm talking about.
All right, let me give a hand clap for that. Sorry, I'm taking notes, y'all. I'm sorry. I'm trying to do everything, Esther. Esther, I'm like you. I'm trying to take pictures, take notes. All right, so we got for my people. What was it? For my people, by my people.
And she actually gave several speeches into this going into the 1920s. There was a lot of poverty and a lot of things happening in the 1920s with liquor licenses and politics. And I got to tell you, it was not a nice place to be. So she wanted to make sure that her neighborhood was safe and that it was being well guarded by some of the best people in St. Louis.
All right.
Also,
All
she
right,
was
let's
investing her. She was
Yeah, I just
investing
want to show that her opening week, November 24th through the 30th, 1918. Wow. At the height of the Spanish flu, this woman had an opening week.
Man.
And by the way, did she ever get the Spanish flu?
In the reports by Charles Stump, she did get sick, but not nearly as sick as her husband, Aaron, who was on the verge of death. So he was knocking on death's door.
Dang.
I think it actually says knocking on death's door in one of Charles Stump's writings.
Wow. And I want y'all, let me let y'all see this date again. Y'all better look at y'all history now. November 24th through November 30th, 1918. That was the opening week of Poro College. And let me just look up and see when was the Spanish flu and how long was it? Because this lady, man, she and Madam CJ. Now, were both of them open around the same time?
Now you have to remember, she died in 1919. Madam C.J. Walker died in 1919.
So after the opening of Poro, Madam C.J. Walker and Annie were promoting the YWCA here in St. Louis that April. And it was April just before. So Madam C.J. Walker died in May, and this was in April. And they were fundraising and doing lots of AME churches, doing lots of political. They were together with Mary Beth Bethune. They had W. Du Bois.
Oh,
They
that's
had
Bethune. I'm
Washington.
sorry. Her name is, excuse me,
Mary
her
Beth
name is
Bethune.
Bethune.
Bethune,
Dr.
yes.
Bethune. Go ahead.
But there's also another very prominent woman that hung around with Mary Beth Bethune as well.
Marjorie Stewart Joyner.
She was there, but there's another very prominent one. So
Um,
there's Hattie Brown. There's
and
oh
then
my gosh, I
Dorothy
can't.
Height.
What is it?
Dorothy Height.
She was there, but this was not in
She was
St. Louis at
young
that
though.
time.
Yeah.
So they did a lot of the same circuits for the National Colored Women's League
Mm-hmm.
together, but it was another woman that was high up on the National Colored Women's League.
Oh.
Bethune's the right person. Who's the right person for
Oh man, come on now.
the right hand person?
Who was Bethune? Mary Bethune Cookman's right hand person.
Yes.
Senorita Locklear?
Eleanor, no, not Eleanor Rose.
No, she was a black woman. Yeah.
So why is this important? Why is it important that we know who her second person was? Where are you going with that?
I'm not sure. So there's Sarah Washington, there's Louise Chapman, there was Bertha Long, Georgia
Yes.
M. Brown.
Yeah, it says, I'm sorry for cutting you off. Sure, you are correct. It would be Dorothy Irene Height is often recognized as the key ally
Yes.
and protege of
Mhm.
Mary McLeod Bethune. So you're right. It would be Dorothy Height.
That's her. So
Okay.
she was with them here in St. Louis when that had happened. You also had Julia Horn, Retta Maupin, Anna Horn, Nanny Coleman. So the name Nanny Coleman is going to come in play here in just a minute. Can you please pull up picture number 6?
You write notes too.
Yeah, I'm doing everything Esther doing. So Mrs. Amelia Ware.
Correct. So here in St. Louis, the Colored Orphanage, you will look in the 9 courts of the 9 years at the 4 courts, and it'll have about the Colored Orphanage. But what it lies to you or omits from history is that the Colored Orphanage was not set up by a white woman. This is the founder here.
Yes.
So she founded the Colored Orphanage that Annie Malone later was, it was named after Annie Malone.
Okay. So
Her
Annie
daughter,
Malone's, okay.
Miss
Very
Amelia,
important thing. Yeah. And so
she had 4 daughters. All 4 daughters taught at Sumner High School, which is where they taught people to read and write. One of them was Nanny Coleman, and her photograph is also in that same book that her mother's picture's in.
All right. Okay. So here are some more images of the orphanage. Okay.
wow.
Okay.
Annie
So
spent,
so let me just recap this for you guys, what we have so far. So we're not doing Annie Malone any justice when we just reduce her to a woman who made hair products, the hair grower. She did not just make hair products. She was a beauty culturist She was the owner of Poro College. She was politically involved. She worked with President Coolidge and President Harding. She founded For My People, By My People, the first colored police platoon in St. Louis. She opened up Poro College at the end of November during the Spanish flu, which did not end until April 20th of 1920. So and so now we're going on to an orphanage. So good Lord, is it anything that this woman did not do? We have to stop limiting and reducing her to a hair. This is her orphanage, and this is the founder of the orphanage that was later named after Annie Turnbo-Malone. And let me just tell you, I sent Cheryl a picture. I don't know if she shared this with you, Kristiana, but one of my customers, my dear friend, Dee, what's up, Dee? Her cousin is the now CEO of the Annie Malone Foundation. So they're watching us, guys. Thank you so much, Kristiana. We're actually getting attention from yes, this is in real time. Didn't I send that to you, Cheryl?
Yes, you did. You said that last night. I was like,
All
wow.
right, I'll let y'all know. Hey, okay, so she said she's gonna let her cousin know. I asked her because she introduced us to her cousin. So so here we are. She has an orphanage. What else did Mrs. Malone have going on?
What didn't she have going on? She had so much.
Well, we have these here. Just one more thing before we
go. Want to get into the shucks.
You're going there. Okay, let's go there.
All right. There. So, all right.
At the end of World War I, the Tuskegee Airmen came back to America as war heroes. And one of those is Officer John C. Robinson.
Come on, y'all. Come on, y'all.
I'm sorry. We have one question over here on Instagram. When you were asking the question about who was her protege, the question, do you have Mary Church Terrell? Is
That's
that
it.
name ringing?
That's the one. That's the one.
You better get it, Nola, darling. You better get it. That's my little pooty tootie. Y'all better hold up, Nola, darling. Let me give you. Oh, we have what was the other lady's name? It was Dorothy Height, and it would be Mary Church Terrell. Good Lord, y'all don't be messing.
I thought it was Mary, but I couldn't remember the last name, and I was like, it was Mary.
Okay, there we go. Let's give it up for Nola, darling, over on Instagram. Hey, right here, America's favorite podcast. Oh, very much, Nola, darling. Okay, so that name does ring a bell. Okay, so next up we have this photo here. You're taking us to the Tuskegee Airmen. These brothers fine. I want all their phone numbers, all of them. One of them got to be for me.
So what's really interesting about this picture, this is Annie's pilot school in Chicago, Illinois.
You know what? We got to drop the bomb on this shit. This lady had a pilot school?
Yeah, and she hired one of the top pilots in the entire country who just came. He was an Ethiopian ace, John C. Robinson. And if it wasn't for Mr. French and the French papers from up in Chicago, Illinois, and Mr. French always called Annie his cousin. But when I actually did the research, he was her cousin. He was from her father's brother, Green Turnbo. So gotta love Mr. French, and thank God he saved all these things and loved his cousin so much.
Look, that's an Ethiopian ace. Whoosh. Holy smokes and holy web snappers. Holy jet propellers. Holy bomber leather jacket.
That's right.
Holy jet fuel engine. Good Lord, and 8 nickels. What was his name again?
John C. Robinson.
The
Damn.
famous John C. Robinson.
I'm sorry, sure. This is very
The
superficial.
famous.
Y'all.
And
I
she
just say
hired
this?
the best.
Can I be
But
superficial? I'm sorry, Kristiana. I'm ghetto. I'm from the hood. I'm sorry. Do we just not bring swag to everything we do?
Ah,
Look at this. If I didn't know any better, that guy with that hat, that's my daddy. That look like my daddy, right? If I showed you, I'm gonna bring a picture of my daddy. Look at the fur coat. Look at these pilots. Oh my God! Look at the jackets. Okay, take it away. I'm very superficial, guy. Forgive me, but hey, all right. Here's another one you sent me here. Don't be so mean. The jump. But
yep.
wait a minute now. So now this is in Chicago. Oh, wait. Oh, hold on. Poro and pictures. Go ahead. What we looking at here? What's this here now?
well, Poro in Pictures was supposed to be like a movie reel, and it had a lot of important things about Poro College, and it has since been lost or destroyed. In 1940, Colonel Robinson pulled Annie out of her home in Chicago, and it was being burned down.
He saved her life.
She was sleeping, and he saw the flames and fire and pulled her out of there, saved her life.
They did not like her.
Wow. Wow.
She was small but mighty.
Yeah, small but mighty. Let's bring her picture up again. There she is. She looks small but mighty. Look at her hair. She was such a fucking lady. Look at how pretty she is. So dainty. So classy. So classy. They're asking her zodiac sign. She was a Leo. She was born April the 9th. So Madam CJ Walker was a
August.
Capricorn.
August 9th.
August
August
9th. I'm sorry, August the 9th. And so Annie Malone was a Leo.
Virgo,
Yeah,
right?
he reminds me
Leo.
of
Leo or Virgo?
Leo.
Leo.
Okay.
All right.
A lioness.
Okay.
That's why.
A
That's
lioness.
what the
Well,
song said. She was a lioness.
okay. Well, so okay. All right. So we got everything covered here. Is there anything else that we
Not
need to
quite.
know as we wrap? Keep going. Is there anything else that we need to know? We got about like 10 more minutes here.
All right, let's talk back about Annie's divorce real quick with Aaron. Aaron,
right?
Yeah, he hired an attorney named Forrestal, and Judge Hartman put one of these people of Aaron's in charge of Annie's business as a conservatorship. This is a big word. I get it. But just
Britney
like with Britney
Spears,
Spears, a conservatorship takes over and has all the control. They even stole Annie's cars and drove them around several times. Annie enlisted the help of some very prominent presidential attorneys to handle her divorce. So that was extremely expensive, but they were going after the entire business of Poro, and it was being handed over to a white man who was insisting that they give over her formulas and that they give over all the information, and she just
now let
wouldn't
me
do it.
interject. So they were doing this to protect her in the divorce because Aaron wanted all of her stuff, correct?
Nobody was protecting her. At this point in time, the city of St. Louis had a crooked judge named Hartman and a crooked attorney named Forrestal, who later on, if you go forward in time after this divorce in 1927, Forrestal almost got disbarred. Hartman was found in fraud and having his hands in all kinds of illegal crap. They were some of the dirtiest, creepiest people in the entire history of St. Louis, and they were rotten to the core.
Right, but the husband wanted all her stuff, basically.
Well,
that's why she had to hire these attorneys, right? This is what you're saying. I'm just trying to get
she hired attorneys from President Coolidge and President Harding helped her with getting the correct attorneys. but under President Coolidge, I believe, is when her divorce was, 1927. So she got the right attorneys to be able to do this. But Aaron, something almost happened to Aaron, and he jumped out of a 2-story building and absconded across the river from St. Louis to Illinois. And Annie found him hiding out in a hospital and said, here it is, buddy. Your life is on the line, and they're wanting you dead, and they're wanting my company. And he signed off for under $200 or $200,000, which was like nothing to her. So he got away with nothing. He lived out his life in St. Louis, a very quiet man, and he died basically a real estate agent.
Dang.
So, if anybody out there talking about a man took Annie Turnbo-Malone down, you just heard it from Kristiana Carnaghi, the Annie Turnbo-Malone historian. None of that is true. At the end of the day, she found his broke ass in a hospital and said, listen here, you buster, sign this shit right now or else. He signed it and he was out of here. So please stop saying that her life was taken down because of a man. All right. Okay. Anything else? Let's keep going. What we got next?
What do we have next? So there's so much. There's tons and tons, but we were trying to keep it easy.
Now,
So
what is something that like give us 3 things that because you got some serious notes over there. So I'm with you. She was very, 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 very powerful. What are 3 things that you just haven't been able to share with us that we just must know? Like before you guys go, because we got, we're working with 2 hours here. So what must we know about that we're missing? Because I see the look on your face and you're like, oh, this is
I'm gonna tweak
Go
some.
ahead, Cheryl.
I'll tweak
Go
some.
ahead.
Okay. Chuck Berry went to Poro College. George Clinton went to Poro College. I said Poro College.
I said I wasn't gonna say nothing. Okay. Chuck Berry, George Clinton, not just needing gonna meet me.
Okay. It was a complete haven for complete. Annie Malone was associated with so many prominent Black, Josephine Baker. And I want to make sure that in between, after leaving Colorado and getting with Annie Malone, Madam C.J. Walker, there was a period where she did go to Poro College and did obtain a diploma as well. And that is in the unrestricted records in the Indiana Historical Society. So
Madam C.J. Walker did attend Poro College and graduated. All right.
As far as we know.
Rest in power, Madam C.J. Walker.
I can never get the copy of the diploma, though. For some reason, they say it's there. Oh, it's so big, and just to copy it, and that sounds suspicious to me. But no one has ever seen her diploma, and that may be because of maybe FB Ransom. But to really end this, I wanted to just end it with just really completely tying up the loose ends and why we get the legacy of Madam C.J. Walker before we got the illustrious Annie Malone, which was responsible for us even knowing who that woman was in the first place.
Yeah, she was a quiet giant, I know I still
too,
love P. Diddy. Real bad boys move in silence. Okay. She stayed behind the scenes, but boy, I thought I was doing something going to Africa writing that dang on because she went around the world, correct? Annie Turnbo-Malone?
She did. So she went to the Baltic in 1925. She went with Mary McLeod Bethune in 1927. They also did some world travels together. There was a tornado in St. Louis in January of 1927. Annie in 1924 paid $38,408 in federal income tax for the year of 1923. She contributed $25,000 down to the downtown YMCA for Negroes. That was $25,000, and I'm guessing that's over $400,000 now, maybe $500,000. She did $500,000 to Pine Street YMCA for the Negroes, $10,000 to medical department at Howard University in Philadelphia. She contributed to Tuskegee, Wilberforce. She had 175 uniformed employees, ages 16 to 88. 1/8 of them were male, the rest were female. Mrs. Pearl Harrison of Kansas City represented Poro College in July of 1924. Annie went to the Baltic in 1924 on a summer of Europe, visiting England, France, Spain, Switzerland, and Italy. Aaron did not go with her. He was a member chosen by Cleveland to be on President Coolidge's team. I'm not sure what for. I'd have to look that one up. Maddie Beasley Robinson, she sued Aaron Malone for $2,500 just after his divorce because she said that he was supposed to be paying her $10 a week for her services. In 1931.
Okay. What's up, Aaron Maven? How you doing? This is absolutely amazing. Let me just say this about politics, you guys. You know, we are supporting former Senator Shirley Smith, at least Shirley and I, even though Shirley doesn't live here. We help raise some money for a young lady named Raquel Armstrong, who's running for state representative in Arizona. We're also supporting Elliot Forehand, who's running for attorney general here in the state of Ohio, as is Sherrod Brown. So I did a little video, and I'm gonna, play it. I'll show it again in my little reels. If you work in a beauty space, a salon space, a barber space, this is our legacy. Do not be in those spaces and do not get politically involved. As she told you guys, they would try to burn everything she had down. All this stuff was happening to her because she was a very powerful woman, and she used her influence not to just sell hair care products. We have to stop saying that. Kristiana Carnaghi is running through these notes, letting you guys know so much more beyond what we just told you, which, by the way, she started off with agents, became a culturalist, politically involved. She worked with Coolidge, President Harding. She had For My People, By My People, the first African-American police platoon in St. Louis. From 1918 and 1920 is when the Spanish flu. She opened her school, Poro College. Her college. Ain't that right, Yate? In November, the end of November, she was divorced. Her students not only included Madam C.J. Walker, but also Chuck Berry, George Clinton, and she had hung out with great people, not just Josephine Baker, but Mary McLeod Bethune, Dorothy Height, and what was the other name we had over here from Nola Darling? Mary Church Terrell. And then also she had a pilot school. So and her own distribution company. Come on, guys. Let's give it up.
But look at them Ubers.
And don't forget the orphanage. Can we not forget? Dang nabbits. The orphanage. I'm gonna write all this stuff out. Okay. So you guys y'all gonna get the receipts today. Okay.
The St. Louis orphanage is really hurting right now. So the St. Louis orphanage, named after Annie Malone, is in dire straits right now. And they're canceling the May Day parade that was held in Annie's name because they're saying that there's not enough funds, that there's problems. And
I truly believe that between one of the things that we can start some really good synergy and really good in reinvigoration and to get our energy and heritage, I think that the beauty culture, texture, natural hair care, all of us can really rally around this particular legacy and help that organization out. I think it'll be great karma for us. I think that is something that is the definition of separation between history of us knowing these facts, but us being proactive and involved and engaged is the definition of inheritance and heritage. I think that we need to really get involved and do something about that.
Absolutely.
I mean, considering if it wasn't for her, there would be no us. And if you have your business, I know I'm going to put Annie Turnbo-Malone picture up in my salon. We all need to have these people up so we can have these conversations. She is on the walls of my classroom at the Gay and Girl Skills Academy. She is there. Okay. But yeah, so we need to make sure that this happens. Any closing thoughts that you want to share with us about Ms. Annie Turnbo-Malone that we should know as we wrap this up? And we surely appreciate what you have done. And our virtual co-host said you have to come back for another thing. We'll call it that. So what must we know? What have you concluded in your historical digs on this magnificent, magnanimous woman, philanthropist, just everything and then some?
The number one thing from Annie was that she wanted to invest in the youth and to educate. This was by educating the youth, they're going to become more powerful. And with the politics, you will see her go from one side of the aisle to the other. And let me tell you, in one of those articles, you can read it. It says that no political party owns me. I am my own person. So
that's it. All right. You heard what she said. She invested in the youth and she was for education. Y'all know my story. Me and Cheryl, we got receipts. I'm never going to get rid of this. And this is what happened 2 years ago in the summer when we went to what was that? Atlanta. Okay. When she talked about being for education, because remember, they didn't want these natural hairstylists to have no education. And me and Cheryl said, fuck that. Natural hairstylists will be having some education. That's not an option. Here we go.
We're here in Atlanta. I'm so excited. Y'all, I can't believe it. I feel like crying. We did it! Oh my God! Oh my God! They said, yo, this is what we're talking about.
So much, who was it? You said, just what you see ain't the whole story. Mm-hmm. I think you said that. Mm-hmm. It's so much deeper and so much more. And that's great. And it really hurts.
That's why I said we appreciate you for allowing us to speak up.
And that is great. But you know what I was thinking about when I was sitting there? This is how I was actually thinking. Boy, Madam C.J. Walker would be proud of you.
Oh. Yes.
We have a sing for it. We have a legacy.
Big ups to Kay Cantrell and all of those wonderful stylists in Atlanta, Georgia. And that this is what we're supposed to be doing. It's not enough for us to just do hair. Madam CJ Walker went to Poro College. She was taught by Annie Turnbo-Malone. So she lived the legacy of investing in youth and education. Cheryl and I do that. Kristiana, surely she is helping us to promote that. If this is your passion in the industry, you love what you do, please be inspired by the wonderful, wonderful works of Annie Turnbo-Malone. Kristiana, there are no words that we can say to thank you so much for, just all of the time that you took to learn more. I know I could have never found out what you found out.
I'm sure you could, but it does take a lot of time and a lot of no's and a lot of walls that you run into. But the thing is that I know that somebody out there is watching this. One of your friends out there is seeing this and they're saying, you know what, I want to look more into this. And as time goes on, there's people having things out of their basement and out of their closets, and they're going to have a chance to have firsthand knowledge of the important information where they're finding new articles, new pieces of the heritage. And people, I'm sorry, you came from kings and queens, not from slaves.
Wow.
And I want,
Thank
man,
you.
and let me just say this. And how we are wired is that we don't hatch. We don't just fall out of the sky. There's one of us that picks another one of us up and believes in us and say,
Ubuntu.
you know, and to not just that, because that picture that you see right there that you put up, Annie Malone was really responsible for launching the career. And I want you guys to write this name down. That artist who did that his name was Charles C. Dawson. In the moment that she really hired him, his career took off. And some of the ads that you guys know, I want you guys to remember, and I know you guys asked for the photographer, but here's an illustrator he went on to do Anthony Overton, and Anthony Overton, the business of beauty culture was so lucrative. Anthony Overton Hygienic Company, he was a judge, and he got off the bench to get into the beauty business. Okay. And one of the things that Kristiana, that I did not realize, and now I know why. My earliest memory of my father, it was not combs. It was makeup and jewelry. And now that I understand beauty culture and toilets and lotions and hygiene, all that stuff is beauty culture. And for us to just not do retail, and for us to not understand the fullness that this is an industrial juggernaut inside of to me, the greatest industry for Black Americans in the history of American business. And we have to really reap the fullness. Magazines, publications, books. I mean, there's just such a lot to do here. And to just think that it's about behind the chair and just a chair. I think that this story has highlighted that the 360-degree career is really what the true presence of what our choices. It's such a world it's a utopia, actually, of so many things to do. And I just want to thank you from the bottom of my heart and for just reigniting the fire and giving us the assignment and realizing that these footsteps are huge, but there's a lot of feet that can fit in that one woman's footsteps, I would say. And so thank you so much. Yeah.
I love it. There was one
All
thing in
right.
that photo that I had not seen until you had it up there for some time. On the lapel of her cape, there's a star of some sort. I'd like to know more about that star. So there's some sort of importance in that star that's on the cape of the woman in the front of that drawing. They wouldn't have just drawn that in for no reason. So there's some sort of a
Yes.
that's some sort of an insignia of some sort, and I don't know. I'd have to go
Well,
back
we
to my
know.
original and blow it up.
Well, you sent us the mysterious 10.
Yes,
And
but that doesn't look like the mysterious 10 to me. That looks like something else. The mysterious 10 looks a little different than that one, and it's my first time seeing that.
wow.
But I want to say that I've seen that also in politics as well. So it's something interesting to me that I just noticed when you had it up there, and I kind of want to know more.
Mhm.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, if
So when you
anybody
guys look up that artist, you guys are gonna see
so that's
you're
his
gonna see
name,
so many
Charles.
hair products. Yeah.
Okay, so everybody, let's look up Charles C. Dawson. And can we give Kristiana one more big round of applause? And if you guys can drop some of those hand clap emojis in the chat, that would be most graciously appreciated. You can follow her over on if you just want to know more about her personal. We have her come back and talk just a little bit more about
Women's
the
History Month.
lovely
Yeah.
Annie Malone. And maybe we could set something up on her birthday, which is August 9th. So maybe we can deliberately plan something to celebrate Annie Malone's birthday. And then, like Cheryl said, if we could maybe reach
birthday
out,
party. We can have a birthday party
to the organization that's doing the Annie Malone parade and send some money over to them. That's
But
something that we
let's do a
definitely can
nice
talk about.
campaign. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm willing to sell some of my father's in products and give some proceeds away to that particular nonprofit. Absolutely.
All right.
That's
No
what I
doubt about
was
it.
thinking too.
Esther says that looks like the Knights of Templar symbol. We can always count on our community. Good Lord Jesus
I was
Christ.
thinking
Okay.
something like that, but more feminine,
All right.
more effeminate.
Maybe an Eastern Star. I don't, you know what I mean?
Esther, if you screenshot that, if you could do a little digging to see if you could find out what that meant, because y'all know we over here, we just kind of nosy like that. Okay. All right. Okay. We have done a wonderful thing tonight. We have exalted, we have held in the Most High, we have revered the one and only. Let me put her picture up here, okay? Let's end with her picture, because if it wasn't for her, like I said, there would be no us.
She is the mother of the beauty vocation.
There she is.
Absolutely.
There she is. The lovely,
Can we have the one where it's of her traveling? It's the one with her and I think it's Haiti.
Here we go. There she is. All right. So that is Annie Turnbo-Malone and Madam C.J. Walker's sister, correct?
Yes.
I believe that's Hattie. I think that's Hattie Martin.
Okay. Okay. So we believe that that is Madam C.J. Walker's sister and Annie Malone. So we want and sister-in-law. Thank you. So we will end it on that note. All right. And y'all know what we say when we're signing out, right? Let me just slide that down. We say good, better, best. Never let it rest. Your good is better and your better is best. We'll be back here Thursday with Auntie Dr. Joy kicking off no sugar. We're going to do a no sugar fast for 30 days, kicking off that vernal equinox fast coming up in March. So we're going to be talking about how to get rid of sugar out of your diet for the next 30 days. And then on Monday, we're going to start off with the relaxer. We're going to be relaxing hair, how to relax hair. We got a whole month that's dedicated to altering hair with the relaxer, so on and so forth. So I think we got everything covered, and you guys have a wonderful night. Cheryl, I love you. Princess.
Yeah, I love you too, sis. I love you, Kristiana.
Yes, the incomparable princess. We thank you so very much for this. Okay, that's your name. You are the incomparable princess. All right, everybody else in the chat. We love you guys. Don't forget, if you can hit that thumbs up button and share this content on your way out, we most certainly, most graciously, would appreciate it, guys. Have a wonderful night. Good night, Miss Princess.
Kristiana.
Welcome to Planet Pluto Pseudo. Welcome to Planet Pluto Pseudo.